Good afternoon. Namaste.
Namaste.
What a delight, madam, to have you in our campus. The Vice-Chancellor of Jawaharlal Nehru University, Professor Santishree Pandit, with us at Royal Global University, Guwahati. Madam, to start off with this small interactive session, what would be your reflections on our university and the region per se, Northeast India?
Let me at the outset thank both your management as well as your faculty and Vice-Chancellor for inviting me here. Though this was totally informal, it was a very nice visit because I always think that private universities are doing a very good job in helping higher education reach its goals. And Royal Global University, though you're very young, compared to maybe JNU, which is in its 57th year, you have a very fast trajectory. I'm told you are from KG to PG and to doctorate, which also mentors and molds students very well. I'm very impressed with your infrastructure and your ability to maintain it. We also build very good infrastructure, but seldom it's not maintained very well. And I'm very happy that in Northeast, you are one of the primary or one of the, I'm told, foremost private universities, and at the same time you're catering to this region, which is a very important region for the government, especially after the Look East policy. And you have a very dynamic Chief Minister, whom we are very closely connected because of the Sriman Shankar Deva Special Center in Indic Studies. Where we are looking at traditions which are from Assam and the Northeast, which connect so closely to India as a whole. And this is something I'm very happy. Let me also congratulate your university and management for their vision and mission in bringing the best of higher education to the Northeast and accessible to every student in this region.
Like we are very diverse with our student community, as you have had a small glimpse of it. It covers the entire Northeast plus our neighboring nations, which you have in a very wider perspective in JNU. Madam, how would you vision and foresee the discussions around gender equality these days? What would be your reaction in this regard?
See, I think to a large extent there is disparity. Because even in a university like JNU, where the progressives and the left have been in dominance, there was no woman Vice-Chancellor until I came, which is very surprising. Because you usually expect the ones who shout the loudest on gender equality to bring in women, but they never brought in any women. As the 13th, you know, I'm brought from the side which they condemn as reactionary and backward. But I think they have become, in reality, they walk the talk. I think the Prime Minister and the present government brought in the first woman, and that too from the state of Tamil Nadu. And if most of you know that I come from the backward classes, I'm not also from the most privileged sector. So that also brings in breaking 3 glass ceilings, which are not very easy. And it took JNU's 57 years. And still, I think women do not count when it comes to leadership positions. Maybe it's still a long way to go, though we have a president, we have ministers, but the number is very few. Even in JNU, till I came, we were only about 19% women at the faculty level. So now I've raised it to 28% and also broken the myth that there is no queen bee syndrome among women. You men, you have all types of stories and stereotypes about us, that if a woman comes, she doesn't encourage women. So I broke it. I said, no. The first dean of students, the first chief vigilance officer, all the most difficult posts have been given to women, and they're doing very well. So if today JNU is doing well, it's thanks to the women leadership.
Congratulations, ma'am, once again in this regard.
So I think you private universities do better in the number of women, and it is good. And also I think it should be more on merit rather than just reservation, I would believe. And I think if given the right opportunity, JNU has students, more of women students than male students. That is one ratio that women are more than about 55% to 45% male students. So that is where the ratio is in favor of women. But unfortunately, when it comes to employment and higher positions, women have not been able to make it due to several other reasons. And you know, in IITs, we don't have one director who's a woman yet.
No.
Which is very unfortunate. But then maybe there is no this thing. But I think this gender issue is something women also have to fight it out.
Yes, ma'am, very rightly said, because in 2001, when I served IIT Guwahati here, the ratio was 24:1, when it comes to students. But today, in higher education, even in our university and also yours, we see the very active role of women. And with this change in scenario, and no one has to say about the role of partition which JNU has played, but coming from Tamil Nadu to JNU and to take the leadership position there, what kind of a vision would you have for the future?
I think basically, see, JNU is, for me, my alma mater. And whatever I am today, it is thanks to JNU. Because when I came from Tamil Nadu, I'll tell you, I came with an oily hair, 2 plaits and black ribbons. And it was an eye-opener even at the interview. Because I saw students from St. Stephen's. One was Varun Sahani. He was, the way they talked and the way they showed off, I thought I have no chance for somebody like us who looks so rural and primitive. I thought Presidency College, Chennai, like Presidency College, Calcutta, we are the leaders. But JNU opened up a huge, environment, horizon, and also made me what I am. So I would contribute a lot to the environment and the education opportunities that JNU gave me. And I think that led me to my whole idea of empowerment of women. Or even, I don't say that would discriminate against men, because at least I would say I'm a single parent child. My mother died when I was very young in the Soviet Union, and single-handedly my father, who was a civil servant, never married again, which is again another stereotype. People say men don't sacrifice, but my father sacrificed for me, and if at all what I am today, it is thanks to my father. So I would not agree that, men are enemies of women's empowerment. Rather, in India, they have been the reformers all over, from Raja Ram Mohan Roy to Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar or Karve or Kandukurivi. So I would not see, like the West, that women's empowerment or gender justice issues is in opposition to men. I think it is more like the Ardhanarishwar idea of balance and harmony. That, we are half-half, we need each other.
Yeah, of course.
I think if neither of us are there, the world won't be colorful, right? If only one of us are there. So my idea is that. So I would rather preach for an equality. But coming from the South, I have also this idea, and maybe Bengalis will agree, that India is a feminist civilization. You will ask me how, ma'am. I know that.
How about it? Yes.
Because who have the most powerful portfolios in Indira's cabinet? Saraswati. She was a landmark. She redefined marriage knowledge.
True.
And then you have Mahalakshmi. All you men pay for every day after in the evening for wealth and prosperity. And finally, Durga, power, when all the male gods failed. It is the feminine power that destroyed evil. So we worship during the Achara, the feminine power. So how are you saying we are the, not? And I would say Draupadi is the first feminist, not Simone de Beauvoir. Because the question she asked her husband, and Sita, the first single mother.
True.
So why not redefine our history. So I would say we don't look at gender in binaries. It is more in concentric circles. And unlike the, Abrahamic religions, we don't have fatwas or orders from some higher authority. It's more the family. So if the family is very enlightened, then usually it is the father who supports women's, girls' education and others, rather than, many times the mother. So I would say in India, we have to take a much more comprehensive view of gender, because I don't think we are like in the West, where, we had this opposition. So I would say we need better narratives that need to come. See the peacock.
True.
See, the peacock taught me a lot of lessons. I thought peacock was feminine. It's so beautiful and dances, And the peahen is so ugly, have you seen?
Yes.
And this one dances in front of that. And in JNU, we used to have a lot of peacocks. I used to think first peacock is feminine. They said, no, madam, it's male. I said, the male is so beautiful and the female is so ugly. Oh, my God. And then, so that change, nature also teaches you a lot. So I would not agree with these type of stereotypes, which we have grown up with. And hence, I would say rather feminine, female, the feminine and the masculine in India is more or less a balance between the two.
Balance. And here, our women do a lot of business. The business is controlled even if you go to Meghalaya.
Yeah.
If you go
Kashi,
up,
Kashi women, matrilineal system,
right.
yes.
And very curiously asking, ma'am, do you have plans to visit our place of Shakti worship, Kamakhya?
I visited twice.
You have already been.
Yes.
So,
and
how does it feel?
It's a very good feel, only you don't know what is there down. The priests are so fast at it that by the time you get the blessings, you don't know what has happened. And it's so dark. One thing I learned, never wear a sari there and go, wear a salwar kameez and go. But it's beautiful. It's a great feat of Shakti. And also your Shakti worship is very much like that in the south, because we also have in many of the places of Kali Amman, this animal sacrifice, which you don't see in many parts of Maharashtra or Himachal Pradesh, which they have given up.
So we have the similar.
Similar, yes.
And taking this trend forward on the new education policy as a scholar and luminary, and also heading the prestigious JNU, what are your thoughts on the new education policy, and how do you see it shaping up the new generation going forward?
See, NEP 2020 was a much needed reform, because for 36 years we had no reform in education. I rather say every 10 years you should have a new reform, because education is a very vital sector. If at all the Prime Minister's vision of a Vikasit Bharat has to be achieved, India has to be a knowledge power. And even if you put power as knowledge or knowledge as power, the Foucaultian type, both are with the feminine in India. Right? So I would rather say the NEP is a good document. Take the good out of it. In JNU, we have told schools, we allow our deans and chairpersons to decide what, because many of the things that were in the NEP, JNU already had. Multidisciplinarity, interdisciplinarity. We also had an exit called a 0 semester, when students who are not able to, make up with the level of scoring and others, they can take a semester off or even 2 semesters off. And so we had all these put into us. And whatever is good in it, like for example, we are not a bachelor's university to a large, only the foreign languages have it. There we have introduced the 4-year program. And but this 4-year program will again be dependent on whichever center wants to implement. Life Sciences has implemented the skill component of it. So we are allowing every school to take whatever is very good as a framework and do it. Because our faculty are very, very well versed, some of the best. And you know very well, faculty don't like to be dictated.
True, ma'am. I agree.
Come what may. You don't give them money, you don't give them anything. But you can't sit in the VC's chair and order things about. Then the next day you will be out.
And it's the space for free expression.
No, free, and see, that's the area where, that is why I've been even telling government also. teachers are going to be anti-establishment. Whoever sits in that establishment, we are never going to praise you. Only see if our level of narrative is good.
True, ma'am.
And if you don't, let's say I don't agree with something you write, I must write an article. I should debate it at the level of ideas. And this is the Indian knowledge tradition of way Adi Shankaracharya and Mandala Mishra. And you had a woman as a judge. Okay, the wife of Mandala Mishra. And later, Adi Shankaracharya made Mandala Mishra one of the Shankaracharyas of the Sringeri Pita. They never fought and, ran away or hit each other or beat each other. So the tradition is one of you have intellectual debates. You can agree to disagree, but we can have very cordial relations. That's what JNU is known for. True. And JNU teachers are very fiercely independent.
I totally agree.
And I respect it, because even I, as a teacher in Pune University, I would tell the VC, you have no business to order me to come at a particular time. You can request me. If I want, I'll come. So now as a Vice-Chancellor, I'll have to follow
exactly
it.
Do that. And ma'am, thank you so much for your time. Just before we end, a quick question on, see how the attention span of the youth has become. It's shortened to reels and YouTube shorts. But as a research institute, and considering how the digital world is taking its leap and way forward, what are your observations in this regard?
Very good question, because everything is 2-minute noodles
Right.
now. And I think here what has happened is, like I said yesterday, intelligence has become artificial, but stupidity is original. Right?
Good one,
So I think it's where, and also machines are learning, humans are surfing. I would tell students, please don't lose your talent to read, to write, and to think independently and critically. This chat GPT, AI dependence is making you slaves of technology.
True.
I'm not against technology. Use it to your best, right? But your mind is much superior. The human mind is superior to technology. So I don't want you to become, a slave. So the students, even in JNU, we are introducing courses where textbook reading is compulsory. Because they don't read the text. Everybody is on cut, copy, paste.
Cut, copy, paste.
And then because of the
browsing.
internet, and these answers are so similar. They understand teachers are idiots. We are not such idiots, at least. AI, literally, AI has written an answer.
And you can make out.
Yeah, you can make it out.
Students don't realize that you can clearly make out.
Now even Turnitin makes it out, okay? So my answer to students is, this is a new fashion. Enjoy it, because you might get something better later. So my answer is, use it as a technology, as an instrument, but not as a master, because finally human beings should be known for critical thinking.
And original.
Original, critical, thinking. And such pockets like Royal University and others, you have to, diversity is important. And the celebration of diversity is what leads to unity. I'm against uniformity.
True.
Because it makes you very dull. Whereas unity is colorful. It's like the colors of the rainbow.
And ma'am, we are trying to be very close to the society as well.
Yes, because you will bring in the local
with
the national and connect it to the global. And I think students have to understand this. That's why in JNU we have asked them now to keep the phones outside. And I'll tell you, they feel alienated. Because you don't know your neighbor. They don't know the neighbor, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the mother, father, everything is a phone.
Everything is a phone.
And I told them the phone lets you down also. I can find out whether you're on the campus or where you are.
Because it's traceable.
Yeah, it's intrusive. Very intrusive.
Very true, ma'am.
If some intelligence, I think if not, at least the Indian intelligence people, after Operation Sindoor, my estimation of the Indian intelligence has gone up. I used to think the Chinese were smarter. So I used to tell them the Chinese drones know where you are, if not me. So I would rather say the Indian, nothing like the Indian mind. Learn from your teacher. Nobody can replace the classroom teacher.
Thank you so much for sharing that insight, ma'am. And finally, to bring this to a close, we would really appreciate if you have your bit of, let's put it, advice to our young ones here in the Royal Global University, the state, and the region through this podcast?
Let me at the outset say that you are in a very beautiful university.
Thank you.
And a university where it nurtures you not only with the best available technology as well as good faculty, and Northeast as a very vital connection to Southeast Asia for us. And I, coming from Tamil Nadu, Rajaraja Chola had gone to Southeast Asia, so you are the land route where we have been the sea route. So I think there's a very vital part of India. And also, students are the future. So please develop your intellectual skills, critical paths, mix tradition with modernity, realm with region, change with continuity, and myth with reality. And I think Bhuyan for equity, equality, and excellence, and innovation with integrity.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time, for your advice, and also for your insights.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and good luck.